And we're back. Welcome to episode 25 of Misfortune. Last episode was amazing. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if we're going to top it, but we are past the climax. I believe we are in the last 4 to 5 episodes left. So essentially the home stretch, but we have to get past the Danger House camp, which is a fortified structure, formerly a church of the North Rock, the town of North Rock. So, with that being said, let's jump into our notes here. So, I forgot to conclude in the last episode with some follow up statements for this episode. I forgot Sparky completely. Not the first time. Sparky is such a afterthought that I just completely forgot that she's around. But my excuse has been much like companions in video games, they're just there until they get killed off or you don't spawn them. They're in your pocket somewhere, depending on the game. They just follow you around the entire time, and then you use them when you need them. So Sparky's a companion, but a dog. So not a person. So a pet, which we have to keep an eye on. We have to feed, clean. You have to give it water, which we haven't done any of those things since I think we initially fed her in the tavern. But I have a potential solution for this. It might not be a good one, but it's just the most logical I can think of. Second is how the hell will we infiltrate the Danger House camp? And I'm going to be retconning just a minor detail. The first wave of archers we dealt with were a scout party. If you recall earlier from like 3 to 4 episodes ago when we were at the top of a hill before we went down into the North Rock Valley, we dealt with a small scout party of Danger House goblins, the supposed leader, but more of a captain. I have a feeling that the Danger House are sending out scout parties because they have a hunch that the Misfits are nearby, perhaps based on just either a something magical or a scout party that saw Misfits coming. A couple potential ways, but for now they know we're coming and they know we're near. But that first group of archers we dealt with the big wave of arrows, like for 300 came, not like thousands of them, but 12 or so. That was a scout party. There's not an endless horde of them coming after us. The tower archers were the only active goblins on that side, the west side of the camp. So currently, I believe that most of the danger house is, like I wrote down, is near the east entrance of the camp, where they are awaiting their grand leader and the stone dragon being pulled in on wheels. So that's obviously going to be a team effort. I'm thinking a dozen or so goblins. And what the biggest question I have right now is what of the merchants guilds in the box? Are the merchants guilds related to the Temple of Legion? Is it the same operation? And is the box relevant to the quest or relevant between Belinda and Dervish? That is a question I have been asking myself since I found the box. I've hinted many times that it is possessed. It has some kind of what do you call it? Psychic link to the creature potentially. It can possess people who are near it or holding it, though we have not been possessed. Well, we've been possessed, yes, but not clearly. So the box in some way is a potentially a spiritually infested item. So that's another thing we haven't really touched on since, well, I think of the town of Bellhop. So let's continue while I still have time. We will be using our one-page mythic as usual because it was fantastic in the last episode. I have Sword and Sorcery here on quick. reference on a quick reference sheet, and I'll get my appropriate dice, which has been mostly 3d6s and the D100 for the Mythic engine. So Mythic, of course, is a D100 system or D100 roller with action descriptors. So I'll put that right here. Now, as usual, I've been getting a little better, I think. I've been shortening my notes down a bit. I'd say right here has been pretty good. I have a tendency to kind of, well, these are technically shorter, but more crunched up on one line. So I've definitely been getting better compared to this. I really get a little too descriptive. So yeah, I think towards the end here, I was getting more into the novel things, the exposition part of the story. So I just noticed that my little uh, DM shield is gone. Huh. Okay, I'll have to. Huh, I don't see on my list. I use OBS. I don't see on my list of sources. I will not worry about that right now. It is just gone. I look smaller too. Okay, that's all right. All right, let's begin. So there was another quake, but we have officially tied the quakes to the main quest line. So that quest has been closed and reevaluated to be part of the main quest line, which is the box. The quake shook us. We have fear in our eyes, but we're so used to the quake right now that it's not necessarily a top priority right now. Right now, we're busy with the danger house, even though we're right next to the massive, potentially about to explode volcano to our right. We're just southwest of the camp. I think we're on the camp is a kind of a oval shaped, rigged oval shape, uh, surrounding one piece of church, one building with the usual top cross, and I'm guessing there are large entry doors on the east side that trails up to the volcano. So I'm assuming there's a trail that cuts through town where they built this fortified camp beyond the church and actually occupied part of the road so they can have easy passage to this trail. So with the potential arrival, or I'm sorry, soon to be arrival of the statue, the stone dragon, as we're calling it. The stone dragon is a nickname for now. We don't know its official name yet. But while let's roll to see if anything happens first off. While we were just talking about some quick little Gruith and Dervish were quickly discussing the history of what they're looking at. Let's see if anything happens. 50-50 as always. That's our threshold. 95. Nothing really happens. So this is our turn. It's our chance to make something happen. So I say I because for our character. I'm going to ask, because Gruith seems to be a mountain of information, pun intended. I'm going to ask Gruith, tell me, is this dragon, or yes, we know it's a dragon now. Is this dragon or is a stone statue related to the box? So ask Gruith, stone statue, or stone, yes, stone statue, dragon, related to box. Okay, Gruith will reply the following. So we're going to roll on our tables. Description is 36. Distant fool. So I say distant. He doesn't want to talk much about the box, but he knows the full meaning. He knows everything about it. So I think Gruith will reply. Um, I think he's going to pass that question along to. He's like, one moment, please. He's going to look to Dervish, I think, because Gruith doesn't want to overstep his boundaries, and Dervish is the leader of the two misfits remaining. So I think Gruith pauses. Dervish does what? Let's see what Dervish, not survey. Let's see what Dervish does. I think Dervish is going to take over here because he gave us the box. 58. Harm. Dervish says that knowing of the box will bring harm to us all. I'm noting that out because he's warning us that the box has to return to the temple, and Box has to return to the temple. I will say, what is Belinda's part in all this? So, what is Belinda's part? I'm sorry, you guys cannot see that. There we go. That's one thing I forgot to completely. One thing I overlooked was the spacing. What is Belinda's part in all of this? Now, Belinda's a very touchy subject for Dervish. While we still have time here, let's see what he says. Four is going to be beautiful. Okay, so Dervish daydreams for a bit about Belinda, the love of his life. He starts to look up. He's tears coming out of his eyes. Uh, Belinda, like she's my one true love. I never forget her. It's been so long. So he starts to rambling on. But four is also a benefit. So I think Dervish stills something. He said something as a benefit to us. He says he reveals that Belinda is the. Let's go to our before I speak any further. Let's go to our NPC list. She's overseer of the Temple Legion. She's a protector of the Legion. So we know this already. She's a protector of the Legion. So we know that already. We need to the story has to reveal something. He has to reveal something we don't know. I think it's about the box because she knows she knows what is in the box, what it does. Okay, so here's what happens. He says uh, what's in the box, but doesn't know what it does. So he knows it's in the box. He just kind of he will get to it. He's talking about Belinda, and he's just kind of quickly summarizing about recalling why she gave him the box or how he got the box. We don't really know why. I don't want to touch on that. Just that's not too important right now. Is important is getting the box back. But he says what's in the box, but doesn't know what it does. Let's roll to see what's in the box. We finally reached that pivotal moment where we know what's in the box. And we have spoke about it, but I think I retconned it before. I changed it to not we don't know. 86 ruined. That pretty much sums it. So in the box, he says it's a heart. And he lets it slip that a literal heart is in the box. That's huge. So the heart makes my character think, Breglor is thinking, is the heart does the heart belong to the dragon? The dragon's a stone like sarcophagus. Or it's a like it's in kryptonite. It's practically like just it's a dragon. It's an actual dragon, but it's stoned. Decipher that how you want, but it's literally made of stone. Turned to stone. Like I looked at Medusa or something. So I think the heart belongs to this dragon. I think. I don't mention. So my characters, I'll remain quiet while I'm thinking about that. Eight. Right. So something bright happens. Something happens. It's something very bright. I say the volcano is going to erupt. We're at the very tipping point of the volcano. It's been active for almost a week now, a week plus, and there huge explosion. volcano erupts. Okay, this is huge. Let's see on the Richter scale how bad it is. 14. So it's just a sudden explosion, but it's bright. Apparently, it's very bright. Very bright, blinds the area. So we kind of close our eyes like this, just a sudden explosion. But I don't think this explosion is normal. The brightness thing, even though it wasn't just a huge explosion on the Richter scale, it's just really bright. And let's roll Y. 69. Old. Something old appears. I think that the explosion conjures something. As crazy as this gets, here's what I'm thinking. The spirit of the stone dragon is erupting from the volcano because the its physical body this physical body has been stolen out of its chamber, and Belinda, who is the protector of this chamber, is not in there at the moment. So because of that, it has caused a disruption to its life force. Thus, the spirit of the stone dragon exits through the top of the volcano, and we see this huge. All right, we all look up. We look up to see huge dragon-shaped um, manifestation of energy, white energy. It's a solid white. It's just a solid white color, and we're all blown away at this. We're all just mesmerized. I'm sure the goblins are looking too. And because of that, let's roll to see if this manifestation, this appearance of a goblin, of a dragon does anything. If it's just in the back, like in video games, like in the Halo series or any big open world video games, the background you can't really get to it. It's just like a matte painting. It's animated. I'm thinking that's how it's going to be for this part of the story. But let's roll to see what it does. This big dragon appears. 44. Expectations. I think Ruith saw this coming, so Ruith does not, yeah, is not surprised, while everyone else is. It also means important. So 44, yeah, important. That Dervish, Dervish freaks out, and I think I don't believe the Danger House crew knew this was going to happen, unless Belinda, when she was kidnapped and captured, she was gagged, or she kept saying, don't do this, don't do this." Taking the dragon will cause they think maybe it's just an urban legend or something. The goblins were like, that's bullshit. That's not gonna happen. It's just a statue. So Dirge freaks out. I think he's gonna turn to us and say, we have to get the dragon back in the temple. So the spirit is let's roll once more because I think my answer kind of sidetracked to what Gruith was thinking. 28, because he's more the personal lore. Danger and extravagant. Dangerous. So the dragon starts to fly around the whole entire volcano, kind of like what Tracer did in the area. But is Tracer still around? I forgot to roll for that. So while the dragon yells, "We have to get the dragon, the statue, back to the temple." I'm doing it again. I'm typing a little too much. Um, what is the dragon doing? The dragon spirit is circling the sky. You can hear it roaring. It's just this amazing sight to behold. And let's roll to see. Oh yeah, the status of Tracer. 75 NPC. Tracer is an NPC. Tracer's powerful. Okay. So I think once more. because I don't think that really sums up what's going on with Tracer 15. Communicate. All right. So, oh, it's damaged. So Tracer, Gruith calls down Tracer, who is damaged just from the collisions with the little scuffle it had with um the Goblin Archers. So it's a little low in energy. So it vanishes. It's just a spell. It vanishes. Okay, so Tracer's out. Now we forget for we recall for a moment. Oh, Sparky. So we're looking around. So suddenly remember to look for Sparky. I'm looking around and I just see I'm trying to see where Sparky is before we find a way into the church. And it's Sparky around. I'm say very unlikely. I think we lost Sparky on the way back, on the way down. 12. Very unlikely. Yeah, we did. So shoot, we lost Sparky on the way down. I'm gonna say we lost Sparky for now. And this is big. This is a big moment. I lost Sparky. I cuss up a storm, and Ruith and Dervish are looking at me like, what's wrong? And I tell them that's my dog, Sparky. I can't find her. I completely forgot about her when we got attacked by those damn goblins. So, and Dervish is like, we got bigger things to worry about at the moment. I'm sure Sparky's fine. So I tell him, well, Sparky was a rescue, or Sparky was. We did find Sparky in the wild. So I think Sparky's probably okay for now. But we'll have to find her later. Um, so Dervish, Gruith, and I, we consult, we talk on a plan to how to get inside. So Um, we talk. Whoops, I don't have to be bold here. We talk. Uh, we plan a way inside the camp. Okay, so while we're doing that, let's see what plan we come up with. 87. Progress. Okay, we make progress. We find a planning inside. There is a. We're going to circle around on the west and then the northwest side. We circle. We go up north side of camp to see if there's any cracks or vulnerable points on the wall. And I'm going to roll my skill check to see if I can find one myself, or we can consult the table on that. But I'm going to do a skill check for the first one in this video. Um, let's see, 1D. I am prepared and I am trained on this one. Let's see, what am I, a thief? My number is I'm a thief. So yep, finding ways through finding, you know, uh ways to get into places is a skill of mine. And my number's 4, so we have to roll under it. Or this might be over 4 because it's knowledge. It's not necessarily physical. I'm gonna do knowledge on this one. So we gotta roll over 4, which might not be easy. So let's roll for it. I rolled okay, I only rolled 1 over, 6, 5, and oh, I'm sorry. No, right. I'm thinking another way around. I rolled 6 and 5. That's 2 over 4. So 2 is a good job. We got it. So no, but no extra benefit. I found a way in. I tell Dervish and Ruith, uh, it's a it's a large crack. Like, is there a literal hole in the wall? We're saying unlikely. 8. It is. Wow, that's a very strong yes. It's there's a for some reason there's a piece of the wood came off and it's kind of like it's loose. So a loose plank. All right. Um, I'm gonna peek through to see if I can see anybody or any goblins in the area behind the plank, behind the wall. And is there anybody? I'm gonna say very unlikely. I think most everybody's at the entrance waiting the statue. Plus now they see the sudden dragon, so they are distracted. So very unlikely there's anybody behind that wall. Very unlikely. Is there anybody? 34. Nope, there is not. Okay. It's clear. Okay, so we climb through. We climb through. We're now inside the camp. Let's see what's around us. 41. What's around us at the moment? Heavy. Oh, I'm sorry. The environment. Well, duh, yeah. Helpful though. There's some helpful things around us. Environment is helpful for us. I think there's going to be more so that there's something helpful for us. What would be helpful? Let's see. We see something, weapons perhaps? We see something helpful. I think it's weapons. I think we see some weapon, like there's a what do you call the thing that it's a rack of weapons. It's like spears, axes, etc. So we see a rack of weapons, and I'm going to say that we all take some. So we all grab one weapon. I grab a, let's see, what do I grab? What does the weapon look like? 41. Oh, I rolled 41. All right, I got to re-roll for that. Let's see. I love I roll the same thing twice. It's clean. It's a short sword, but it's very clean. It's a well crafted sword. It's sharpened. So, um, short sword, and let's see. We'll grab one weapon, short sword. Dervish will grab a. Maybe he finds two daggers again. He finds two daggers to replenish the supply. Two daggers, and I'm gonna say Gruith finds like a very nice golden staff, like a big golden staff. Just we can channel his magic through it better. Okay, so we're all well equipped. We're preparing to. We're gonna try to find sneak our way in to the church. Is there a back door of the church? I'm thinking, like on our side of the camp. I'm gonna say very likely there's a back door. 48, very likely. Yep, there is. So we see back door of the church. Okay, we walk up to the door. We're gonna lightly see if it's locked while Gruith and Dervish are keeping an eye out. Um, we teamed up at this point. It's pretty evident. I'm going to see if it's locked. And is it locked? I'm going to say at 50-50 on this one. Is it locked? 72. It is not locked, actually. Okay. Door is unlocked. That's great. At least we'll be able to get in. Okay. So, quick little water break. We open the door slowly. We look inside, and what do we see? Open slowly. Like I'm opening it. Oh, is it a pull door or a push door? That's the thing. Does it open from the outside? 50-50. Does it open from the outside? 25. It does. Okay, so kind of an advantage for us. Opens outward. Okay, so we're opening slowly, kind of peeking my eye through. And remember, I look like this. That's my character appearance. So I don't just kind of see my eyes. Uh, right there. Okay, do I see anybody? A couple ways we can approach this. Do I see anything? Just a simple yes or no, or do I? What do I see? We can roll for that. Let's do the steps. 50-50. Do I see anything? Do I see anybody? 59. I don't see anybody, but what do I see? So nobody inside. What do I see? 44. Expectations. A church. I see a steeple. I see rows of chairs. I see like a cross, a riser, a podium, etc. So a church. It's on the inside of a church. There's nobody there. But I think what we're looking at is we're being blocked by the backdrop of the riser. So we see like two hallways kind of going towards the back door. Do I hear anything? Let's try. I don't know if I get a talent or a roll. Do I hear anything? That might be a skill. Yeah, let's do a skill. 'Cause we'll do a skill. I am prepared, and I am an expert thief. So yeah. Okay, so four or this will be sorcery. Four or over. Let's see. Do I hear anything? 3-2-2. Gosh darn it! I don't hear anything at all. It's a fail, and it has a complication too. Ah, okay, so we have to live with it. Yep. Um, it goes wrong. GM says how things get worse somehow. Okay. All right. In my big mouth. So what goes wrong? 47. Fears Fears. Does our character have a fear of a church? Maybe there's we all right. So failed to hear anything, but that 47 fears. It's also lacking. We're lacking something. Let's roll once more. If it's going to be us or Ruth or Dervish, perhaps. 14. It's a character. You know what? It's Dervish. He's so impatient. I'm taking my time to open the door slowly like a thief, and he pulls the door open. He's like, "Get out of the way!" and pushes me aside. So that's where things go wrong. Yeah, because Dervish is feared that Belinda's dead, and so he's rushing in. So yeah, um, a character, and that character is Dervish. Okay, so impatiently, Dervish rushes inside. Okay, when he rushes inside, Gruith will follow. Gruith follows. I don't know if that's a comedic scene, like I'm opening the door, like trying to be all stealthy, and then he just pulls the door and pushes me aside. He's like, "Get out of the way!" and gets inside. I stand there surprised. I enter to I follow, and we go around we go around that wall, that riser, and what do we see? This is a huge reveal. So we enter the church, and what do we all see at the same time? One after another, actually. 40 enemies heavy. Enemies heavy. We see enemies, and there's a lot of them. Oh, Dervish. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was trying to be stealthy, but I failed the rolls. That's partially my fault. Okay, Dervish and Gruith. I'm gonna because Dervish and Gruith went in first. See a well, is this army? What are they doing? The goblins. See, let's hold on. Let me see goblins. A lot of them. Now, what are they doing? Let's see what these goblins are doing. 26. Empty. Create empty. I wonder. Oh, wait. Empty. Interesting. I have an idea. 44. Expectations. Hmm. Enemies, heavy, empty. I'm going to write this down. Enemies, empty, or, yeah, heavy, empty. One more roll. I think that's probably enough to create something. One, attain. Are they praying? It explains why they're in a church. It's a cult. It's a freaking cult. We stumbled upon a cult of goblins who are in the middle of a prayer while we busted in. Okay, that does make sense. I see maybe there's a couple there's a let's see how many are there. Is there less than six? Let's see, 50-50. One, yep, that's a solid one. There's less than six, so there's gonna be five. Okay. We see five goblins. Oh, they're like they're priests. They wear robes. They're I don't know, wizards. Goblin priests. I don't know. No, goblin worshippers. Praying. They're kneeling down, kneeling around. Well, they're kneeling around something. I want to roll for it, but I have no idea who it is. 86. Okay, ruined and positive. The positive, it does make sense. The ruined, I am going to stay away from that one. 40. We've rolled 40 a lot. Enemies, we know that. Won't roll too much. 48. Fears. Okay, so Belinda, positive. Like I feel like we reached this is the point in the story where it has to be Belinda. Around Belinda, tied down. She's tied down to like a stone bed, um, tied to a platform that's like hanging with chains on all four sides. So think like Frankenstein. Like she's tied to a platform, chained to the ceiling. It's about at waist level, so she's near the ground. She's tied up, but because these worshippers are so busy praying, are they aware of us? I think Dervish and Gru has stopped, and then I stopped, but I'm not in sight. So I stopped behind the platform, the riser, sorry. Uh, Only Gruith and Dervish are in sight. Because that's how I picture the in order events. Like I see them, they just kind of stopped. They're probably just on one side of the opening. Gruith probably tried to stop them. The Dervish was running there impatiently. Because like I said, when he gets emotional, he gets kind of misguided. Now, do they see likely? I'm gonna say it's likely, or no, they're busy with print. Let's say I'm unsure. Let's do 50-50. Do they see us? Do they see Gruith and Dervish? Are they too busy praying? 48. Oh, that's a weak guess. They just start to. One of them does. You know what? Yeah, they see us. One of them sees us. Okay. One of the worshippers sees. I want to say Dervish because he's first. This could be a surprise attack for us. So, is Belinda Dervish? He's going to examine. He's going to try to see if he can tell Belinda's alive or awake. Looks at Belinda. She's tied down. She's probably in some formal wear. Is she alive? I'm gonna say nearly certain she's alive. I don't think they would have killed her by now. Nearly certain. Is she alive? 5. Yep, she's very much alive and she's awake and she's looking right at Dervish. So Belinda, she's well awake. Okay, she's alive, awake, looking. Is she looking at Dervish or is she just looking straight up like she's like gotten tears and she just gave up thinking this is the end? Is she looking up? I'm gonna say very likely. 70. No, she's not. Oh no, she is. Yeah, she's kind of. She's still in disbelief. She's looking at ceiling. Okay, but then that one worshiper, he's praying, and then he hears footsteps, looks up and he sees us. So he's about to speak, but I think this will be a time to attack. So I think we're gonna have an encounter here. Worshippers, let's see. I think they're magically gonna be they're magic users. They're not weapon. Well, they could have wielded like Assassin's Creed weapons popping out of um those little knives that pop out underneath the wrist. Totally forgot what those are called. Are these worshippers? They're goblins. They're goblin worshippers. They dress like they wear cloaks. Um, Archers wearing cloaks. Do they have weapons on them? I'm gonna say very likely they do. Even though the back door was open. 78. They don't have weapons on them. Okay, that's that's a very weak no. No weapons. Magic users? I'm guessing very nearly certain. Yes, they're magic users. 22. They are, and they're quite challenging actually. Magic users. So Gruith steps in front of Dervish. What does the like he does this to protect him? What does the first goblin worshiper do? Let's see what action he takes. Does he yell? Oh, 99. Wow. Uncertain. Oh, wow. Okay. Uh, Goblin worshiper. Uncertain. He doesn't know who we are. That's strange. He's uncertain. Worshiper. He's a dropshipper program for Amazon. Worshipper. Um, Interesting. Do what does okay? Does Gruith attack? Like a surprise attack? I'm gonna say 50. Hmm. I'm gonna say very likely he attacks first. Yeah, very likely. Wait, 64. He does. They paused for a moment because they thought the goblins were attacked first, but then suddenly Gruith just launches an attack. So Gruith attacks first. What does he use? Is he gonna use a magic spell? Let's see. What spells do we got? We have a blast, invisibility, fireball, resize, animate, flight, darkness, lightning storm. Lightning storm. Let's do that. We'll do that. Lightning spell. So I think this might be one of his last few left. Lightning storm. So if I were to give Gruith a number, we're gonna do a skill check for him, even though we probably don't really need to. I think he's definitely a 5 on, sorry, a 2 for sorcery. He's a solid 2. So we got to roll 3. We got to roll higher than a 2. Oh crap. Okay, 2 dice made it. So okay, lightning storm 2. So 3, 2, and 1. Wow. Okay. So Gruith strikes. He strikes. There's 5 of them, I think. He strikes 3 of them. 3 of the worshippers with his attack. Gruith strikes. Yep, 3 of the worshippers. Okay. The other 2 are spooked, or they obviously are caught off guard. How do they react? Let's see. The remaining 2 are those nearly certain? Are they're dead? Are those 3 worshippers dead? Nearly certain. 63. They are. Okay. That was easy. Okay. Kills them. Man, well, not, I think if I rolled a 3, they would have been dead. I'm gonna say unconscious. Knocks them out. Knocked out. They're down for a few turns. They're incapacitated. Um, for the moment. Drunk with energy. Now we're gonna the other 2. Let's see how they react. 7. Break. They break away for it. So remaining 2 run towards the front door. Dervish is going to take the knives he has and throws them at both like he did before the archers. He has great precision. So Dervish pulls out the daggers, pulls out daggers. I'll just say Dervish throws daggers at the 2. Can he get them? We're definitely closer this time. If Dervish can get the guys on the freaking towers with that for that precision, I'm pretty confident he can get these guys within 20, 30 feet. No problem. So nearly certain does he get these 2. Or this could be, let's do a roll. We'll do a roll. I'm going to say that the basic Gruith is 2 in number. Dervish is 5 with swords. So let's do this. We'll roll 3d6. We got to do 5 or less. Okay, 3, 4, and 1. Yep, no problem whatsoever. He gets all of them. We got to roll under a 5, basically. Then Dervish's number. So he gets them back. So because that's an extra benefit, 3. He kills both of them. Daggers hit both on the back of the head. Hit both goblins. Hit back of head. Each head. They collapse. Now, is there anybody else in the? Well, I think we got that cleared up. So Dervish runs over to. Well, what am I gonna do? He knocked him out. Okay, I enter the area. I kind of show up, and I'm like, wow. Okay, so, but I also say we should hurry because most likely the caravan or the group are mostly outside the church and come back in. They're doing something with the stone. Dervish, what is he gonna do? Most likely rescue his love interest. Let's see, 92. Start. Yep, he's gonna start. Dervish unties Belinda. Is she injured, or how does she react to seeing her love interest? 99. Warm. She's happy to see him, basically. She's exhausted, but she's happy. So she smiles. She's exhausted, just in disbelief. So can she walk? Let's see. Unlikely. Can she walk? One. She can. I rolled a solid one. Yes, she can. Surprisingly, she can walk. So she's physically okay. She's just tired. Um, mentally tired, I guess I should say. So can she? Yeah, I'm gonna assume she was just tied down with rope. So okay, while we untied, do we see anything in the room that is of like high importance? So let's explore the area just a bit before we roll to see if anything happens. What do we see? What do I see? Five. Bleak. There are carvings all over the walls in the church of like just ancient scriptures, carvings all over the walls. So he helps her stand up. He helps her up. I see ancient drawings, carvings all over the church interior walls. I I can do a knowledge check, but I doubt I recognize anything. We have a number of four. I have to roll over a four to even understand any. I'm gonna try to like look around and see if I recognize anything. I doubt it. Oh, right. We're not prepared. We are prepared, but we're not trained on this. So only 2d6. So it's yeah, this will be a tough one. 2d6. Let's get a good roll on this one. Yeah, nothing. So 3, 1, nothing. So we gotta roll over four. That's not possible. So unfortunately, no, we can't. I don't recognize anything at all. But because I rolled that since if no dice succeed, it goes wrong. Something has to happen. A complication. The box. So the box. Because we've been through all these battles and running around, my travel bag is loose. The box floats out without me knowing it. Does Dervish see it float out? Or does anybody else see it float out? 50-50? I think Gruith might see it. 40, yep. Gruith sees the box float away, because we know it does that. Do we? Yeah, we have the box. Yeah, we still have the box. Um, the box floats away. Does he try to run for it? I'm gonna say he does. Very likely. Does he try to run after it? 47. Yep, he does. He tries to run and grab it. That's a physical, so let's see if he can do this. So his number is a low two. Not yeah. He has to roll. We have to roll two or less for him. Prepared? No, this is a 1d6. He's not trained for this either. It's physical. So this is based on 1d6, guys. Five. Yep, no good. Uh, he jumps but misses. All right, so the box floats away. He yells to Dervish and me, the box, and then we both look up. So Dervish looks up, Belinda looks up. We all look up at the box. How fast is it floating? Let's see on the scale of 1 to 100. 36. It's going at a modest pace. It's just floating away. You can hear the Jetson sound of it floating away. So box floats away. Not too fast, basically. What does Dervish do? Let's see. What does Dervish say? 93. Stop. Yeah, Dervish yells to us to stop it, to get it back down here. Uh, Tracer. So I tell Gruith, spawn Tracer. Can you? Can he spawn Tracer? 50-50. He's worn out. Is the lightning bolt 50-50? 22. Yeah, he can. Yep. So Gruith spawns Tracer. once more. Okay, so like an eagle spawns on his. It's a small one this time. It spawns up and then it flies up to get the box. So this will be a magic check to catch the box. So while, whoops, sorry. So in magic, the magic is a specialty. So sorcery is going to be 2. He has to roll. This is prepared and trained. I think it is. 3d6, 2 or higher. 1, 4, and 5. So 2. He's able to. Tracer suits up, catches the box. But what happens when the tracer touches the box? That's what I'm curious. Magic touching magic. Let's see. 96. Strange. Something strange happens. Okay. Strange. So what strange happens? Magic touching magic. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see what happens when strange. Oh, 66. Okay. Leaves. Hmm. The box. Leaves. I'm thinking the box. If it's just like a cardboard box or something, or just it's a wooden box that it disintegrates because of all the magic that's all the heat, the energy is coming out of it. This could. Oh, you know what? Here's what happens. Belinda shouts no for some reason, and magic on uh, the box dissipates or disappears, and then the heart is there. Like it's in this weird bubble, this aura. So the heart appears, and it's being held onto by the claws of Tracer. So Tracer is clawing it. So Belinda shouts no. I just thought of that for a second. Why did Belinda shout no? 27. Dangerous. It's dangerous to touch the stone with other magic. That's why it was in the box. So Belinda quickly mentions the heart cannot be touched by pure pure magic. So we're all in shock. We didn't know. Gruith probably didn't know that either. Did Gruith know this? I'm curious. 50-50. There's no that much lore. 52. He doesn't. Gruith did not know that. Okay, so that's huge. So what happens to the heart if it's touched by it's being clawed by magic? Sorry, my eyes are just allergies came my butt this week. Um, I'm just so sad. Let's see what happens with the heart. 7 breaks. Oh no! Bright and break. Suddenly it lights the sky gets brighter. Not the sky. We still have the dragon circling around. Mm. Bright and break. The break I think is physical. The heart breaks apart. It explodes. If there's a white, it's flash. Okay, so white flash, explosion. The heart is destroyed, and Belinda. What How does Belinda react to this? We're obviously blinded by the light. 46. Failure, incomplete. Yep. Belinda drops to her knee, on her knees, cries out, "I failed." So there's something going on here. Like she drops to her knees, cries out, "I failed," because of the destruction of this heart artifact. Tracer, I think, is just an explosion caught off guard, also dissipated. We're all in. we're basically all very stunned too, like what just happened. Now, because of that, what happens? Let's see. Does anything happen? 64. What happens? Information natural. So it is natural. This was natural to happen. Okay, so uh, I ask Dervish what just happened. I think he's pissed. He's mad at us. He yells. He yells at us. You had one job. That was to hold the box. So you had one job, and I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? Like, what did I do? I'm shouting. Um, how does Gruith respond to this? 34. Delay, frightening. Gruith is in shock because he was also responsible for that. Gruith is silent, in shock. He apologizes to Dervish and Belinda. So while we're doing that, does anything happen? Like, did the goblins show up? 7. Something does happen, and that is break and bright again. Break and bright. Hmm. I think because the heart shattered, something has to happen to the statue outside. The statue was the key. I'm sorry, the heart was the key for the statue. That's what we know. Because the heart shattered, I think the stone statue shatters, breaks apart, which might be a good thing actually. Let's see. We hear a loud crumble, like cracking outside, a cracking noise, like a stone thing falling apart, cracking. We hear goblins shouting and like wooing. They don't know what's going on. And we're all looking around like, what was that? What was that? Does Belinda know what that was? So I'm going to say that Belinda know, nearly certain she does. 21 and 21, conflict, dirty conflict. Belinda knows what that noise is. Conflict. She's conflicted. She's like, she, uh, she looks, so she looks at Dervish and she says, oh no. Like she knows what the sound was. So looks to Dervish in disbelief, says, oh no. And then Dervish replies, what does he reply? Let's see. 38. Emotions. He's getting a little teary-eyed. Dervish is emotional. He probably knows what that means too. I think that Dervish has some knowledge of, like, he has a lot of knowledge actually. He just kind of pick and choose. Um, does Dervish knows what it is? I'm gonna say very likely. 49, 46. Failure. Yeah, they failed. So, but did we fail? Here's how I'm seeing this connect. How I'm seeing this all end up. Dervish is emotional. He also says we failed. He was being sacrificed for something, and the box that had the heart that now is destroyed was going to be used. Remember, Dervish and the Misfits, they're not good guys. They're not. Like, they're not like anti-hero. They're bad. They have their own agenda. The Danger House crew have their own agenda. These two opposing forces were bad. The real good guys here were the Kingsmen, and they're out. Well, I think. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's. What happened to the Kingsmen? I almost forgot. Let's see. Okay, Kingsman. Right, they don't see anybody. So we failed. And guess what? Guess who busted the front door? The Kingsman. I'm gonna make it happen. So suddenly, Kingsman 2 bust in. This is just crazy, just shot in the dark here. Bust in through the front door with weapons, and maybe they busted their own way through. Um, and we are all shocked to see them. Now what happens? The Kingsman 2 bust in, and they shout, "There you are!" So they shout, "There you are!" So how does how did the Misfits generally react to seeing the Kingsman again? 65, because we kind of helped each other out leave. Okay, so they have to go. This is new to them. They weren't expecting to see the Kingsman so soon. Misfit. Okay, so Dervish stands Belinda up. He says they have to leave. They have to leave now because I have a feeling the dragon up in the sky is going about to do something really, really bad. And let's see what's going to happen. 48. Fears. Yep. So Belinda is kind of mumbling. She's still distraught. Mumbles the spirit. She says the spirit, dragon. I can sense. I can sense him or her. I can sense him. So I'm guessing. Do I catch that? Do I hear her say that? I'm gonna say that's gonna be. I could just do an oracle roll. Actually, that sounds really simple. Maybe she walks by us. Likely, Jarvis is ignoring us. Let's see. Let's set the scene up here. Dervish, they're on his way out. So I think, how does Dervish and Gruith treat me now? Let's see. 15. I don't roll 15 that much. Damaged. Our allyship is just damaged. I think Dervish walks up to me, and he has Brenda on his arm, on his shoulder, or on her side, on his side. Walked up to me and says something, and that something is, "You failed the Misfits," or I think it says, we're leaving, we're leaving now without you." So I'm conflicted here. He did blame us for like irresponsibly losing the box again. It's happened before in his experience, and Gruith is partially responsible. So I'm thinking maybe Gruith is remember Gruith has been a really strange character, not like characteristic wise, but he's been I think he's hiding something. Do the Kingsmen let the Misfits go? We're leaving. So I think Dervish walks by. I think it walks by me, says we are leaving, not directly at me. So I'm standing there, not sure if he's talking to me. How is Gruith reacting to all this? Because the Misfits are dead. They're done. 55. Good. Interesting. Maybe Gruith is happy they're leaving? Hmm. We'll roll once more on that one. 50. I need to roll it more. 70. There you go. Old. I, Gruith is thinking of several things here. He can go with them, just go with the old, or like I think Gruith is torn here. Even though he's part of the Misfits, he's a loyal follower of Dervish. I think now that Dervish sees that the mission's been a complete failure, I didn't write it down, but Gruith does. He's in shock. He apologizes. Dervish never replied. Here's what happens. Gruith asks Dervish, "Shall I handle these two? I mean the guards, the Kingsmen, and let's see how Dervish responds." 20. Dark. Conclude. Oh, Dervish is like he's done with the Misfits. This his whole life legacy must him and Belinda, they worked on different spectrums of in the field. Like she was a the guardian of the Temple Legion, and he was out in the field. Like he maybe had some sort of secret connection to the Temple Legion, and he was out in the field recruiting a team. I think I'm starting to think like they were a cult of sorts, and they were going to do some kind of crazy sacrifice to spawn this godly dragon creature, and they failed. So that does make a little sense to me now. I think Dark, yeah, because Dark can conclude. Dervish turns to Gruith and says, "We are done with you. The misfits are no more." So I think Dervish is done. Like that failure, that the heart was everything for the Stone Dragon, and the stone. From what we heard, the Stone Dragon outside. Well, where are the goblins at? The Stone Dragon has been disintegrated into thousands of pieces. That they're probably like, "What the hell just happened?" So while they're leaving, um, the Kingsmen walk through. I asked the Kingsmen, "How did you how did you both get past all all the goblins?" And I kind of yell out loudly, "How did they get past all the goblins?" That's the thing. I threw this curveball in there, and I need to resolve it. 67. They moved them. They got moved. Okay. One more roll. 49. There was a fight, a large fight. Oh, there was a large fight. There was a mutiny. So this does make sense, actually. Okay, so the Kingsmen noted that they had this is like a convenient curveball for everything, but that the that Danger House had a mutiny because of cracked the busted statue. So like they went through all that to retrieve a big prized possession, a big possession worth thousands of gold. Bringing it back down and it breaks apart. And so the leader's like, "Oh, this is all part of God's plan." And then the probably half or more of the goblins were like, "This is bullshit. We joined your crew, and now you're telling us that our prized possession has been cracked into 1,000 pieces." And the leader, it probably caused a scuffle and they had to fight. So, uh, Danger House had a mutiny while the those five or so worshippers were inside praying for Belinda. So I think the Danger House was split into two. There was a physical side of them, and then there was the magic side. So they often probably had some disagreements, but overall they had one goal was to get the statue. And now the statue's destroyed, and there's a giant spiritual dragon flying around. We don't know if it's a threat now that the heart's destroyed. Um, they had a mutiny. So did the mutiny kill all of? Did they kill like each other 50-50? Like, are they all dead out there 50-50? Well, the zero, got to re-roll. 23. They did. I want to say that the Kingsmen finished off a few of the last ones. Killed off most of each other. Kingsmen 2, as revenge for their lost third member, killed a few stragglers. I don't remember how to spell that. Stragglers. I don't think that's right. Stragglers. I say, let's see what I say to that. That's convenient. So like I'm just kind of poking fun at my story here. That's convenient. I know I spelled convenient wrong. Convenient. I don't recall how I spelled convenient. Yeah, sorry guys. Oh, there. Okay, there we go. That's convenient. So I asked Gruith. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do now? Like, 'cause, like we're this is crazy. There's like a very odd ending. Like it's just like this whole thing did not go as we planned. 51 gain light. Oh no, this is what's happening outside. So the sky's getting bright. It's getting really bright. So while I ask the sky, like there's a hole in the ceiling, um, the sky above gets really bright and it's white. So I what do the guardsmen do? The Kingsmen. Let's see what they do. 67. They move. They notice too, and they run outside. Kingsmen notice. They look up. They uh they run outside. Griffith, what does he do? Let's see. Two. Attain. He's curious, so he looks up and watches. Attain. He just kind of stands there. He doesn't answer. Does he answer us from earlier? Let's see. 50-50. No, he doesn't. He's that's extreme no. Um, really, that's extreme no and goes beyond our expectations. So Gruith is not answering. He's looking. He's mesmerized by the. Oh, I know it's coming. Yeah. So I look up. I look up, and what do I see? I have an idea for this. Three. Something beautiful. Yeah, death. So I look up and I see this huge bright light coming towards us. I get out of there. So I quickly I see a bright light approaching quickly. I run out of the church. Ruth is standing there. Now, I think Dervish and Belinda are already out too. This is a physical, so 4 is our physical number. Is our number. So we got to roll 4 or less. It's a thief trained, but I don't think it's prepared. We were not prepared for this. Only so I'm gonna do 2d4. I'm gonna roll a 4 or less for this. Okay, here we go. Ah, okay. So 1 and 3. Good, good, good. Okay. I am able to run out of the church. And what happens to the church? This is a huge moment right here. This is a yeah. Let's see what happens to the church. 44. Expectations. We were expecting this. Seeing a bright light hit the church. And what is it going to be? 78. An object. A quiet object. It's the dragon. So because the dragon, the heart was destroyed, that spiritual dragon flying around was looking for its heart. And knowing that the heart exploded, it's going to now die. It's basically diving at us, and it's going to crash into and explode into the church. So the spirit of the dragon basically dive bombs um, into the church, and there's this huge explosion. So Dervish is dead, or I'm sorry, Gruith is dead. Huge explosion. We avoid it. Uh, I avoid it. I dive like several feet away. We rolled to see if we can get out of the church in time, but now let's roll to see if we can dive. I think this is prepared because we were already in motion. So let's 3d6 below 4. 5, 3, 1. Yep, we got 2. So we did get out of there. Um, I dive out of the camp, like through the wall, the plank, the wall that was open up. And there's a huge explosion. The entire church spontaneously, or not spontaneously, combusts into flames. like a white flame. So the church is destroyed. Gruith is dead, and he was like looking like it was like he's like it's beautiful, and it's just this big like the sharp, the beak of the or not beak, the mouth of the dragon just straight and dive explodes the entire church. So um, is the dragon free now? Like, is this whole thing over with? Man, what an ending. Jeez. Okay, so Gruith is dead. Uh, we're okay. I survived. The Kingsmen, are they okay? Let's see. The Kingsmen, let's see. Are they okay? Did they survive that? 50-50. We don't know. We can't see them. They went to the front. 62. Ooh, no, they got hurt. So they survived, but they're not okay. That's a weak yet. That's a weak no. The Kingsmen 2 got hurt from the explosion, surprisingly. Maybe they're wearing armor, so they're a little slower. Uh, they got pushed by the explosion and like hit the wall on the inside. They hit the wall on the inside. Not their day, but I think they're still alive. So are they unconscious again? Like these guys get their like 50-50. Yes, they are. Barely. They got their wind knocked out of them. So like think like after like your hearing is like impaired and they're dizzy. So they got they got knocked out temporarily. They got knocked down. They got knocked down. Yeah. So I stand up, looking at the burning inferno of like the white fire. I'm looking at the church, white fire. Um, church is just crumbling down. But what's happening to the volcano? Sorry, just my hearing thing. What's happening to the volcano right now? That's what I'm curious. Well, we just got almost killed by the dragon. 15 damaged. The damaged. Huh. Well, yeah, the volcano is damaged. Hmm. Okay, let's roll once more. I look at the volcano. It's heavily damaged. Like there's lava spewing out of it. But it almost looks like it's done. Let's roll once more. 84. PC player character. Oh, something happens to us. I have an idea for this to make it like a good. If we aren't ending here, this is going to be huge. So something happens to us. What happens to us? That's a really good roll. 18. Competition. Hmm. The Kingsmen were up here to avenge the death or rescue their third member, but now that's been. So the Kingsmen were always the tough part of the story. Something happens to us. Is it going to be Dervish and Belinda? Do they talk to us? Do we see them while we're kind of just taking a deep breath, like this thing is almost over with, or it is over? Do we see is Belinda and Dervish around us? I'm going to say likely. 32. They are. Okay, so Dervish, Dervish, and Belinda are doing what? Let's see. 14. Character. They are character. Let's see. What were they trying? Well, they failed, so they're leaving. We see. I see. Here, I'm going to rephrase this little part here. I see Dervish and Belinda. walking away back. Oh, are they walking towards the church? Oh, that's why I'm looking at the volcano. They're walking towards the temple. So walking towards the temple of Legion slowly. That's interesting. That's why I was looking at the volcano. That makes sense now. Like I kind of see them. They're not small, but they're like just around up the hill. They're taking like a custom path up towards the Legion, and I think their story is over. Whatever. Yeah, that's probably an untouched story for another day. But the Kingsmen, I'm gonna go check out the Kingsmen. So I run to the other side, main entrance. Is the main entrance open? Let's see. I'm gonna say very likely if the Kingsmen were able to get through. 69. Very likely. It is. Yep, it's cracked open. So main entrance cracked open. I enter the front of the camp. Do I see the Kingsman 2 there? I'm gonna say nearly certain I do. 40, 46. I do. So I see the Kingsman. Whoops, I keep forgetting, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm sure there's like half the video you just see that graphic. I see the Kingsman. What are they doing? Let's see. 88. Rustic progress. They're getting up. They're basically they're rustic, like they're just a little yeah, more like getting up. Progress, maybe something else. 9. Burden, yeah, they're clean burden. They're cleaning themselves off. They're okay. So they are standing up, cleaning themselves off an explosion they survived, but hurt off. They see me, so they see me. That's evident. How do they react to me? So this has all been very weird. Decrease. They are disappointed. They thought I died. And well, hold on. So when I see the Kingsmen, I ask if they're okay. I don't hate them, and I'm not really against them, but I'm not part of their group. So I'm gonna roll once more to see how they react. Decrease, and then 87 is going to be. Oh, we rolled 87. I really want to roll new things here. 3. A benefit. Okay. So they see me, and I'm guessing they're surprised. They're surprised I survived, and I am surprised too. So, okay, how to close this off? Because we're reaching a point where the dragon just basically dive bombed and exploded the church, killing Ruith, which we got bowled that actually. Ruith is dead. Dervish doesn't seem too affected by that. He's more upset that they failed. Um, I ask the Kingsman, now that things have calmed down, besides the big fire that's right near us, uh, why exactly, why were they really up here? And what did the Kingsman say? Let's see. 30. Deceit. They were deceitful to us in the beginning. So they say, um, hmm. So they say they lied. They lied to us in the past. They were tasked to arrest Dervish. So Dervish stole an item, stole the box, the heart, basically, an item from the king. And That's why he was arrested. And the box, the heart, belonged was a collector's. It was a collection piece of the king's throne room, and he stole it. Dervish used to work for the Kingsman, but he was undercover. He worked for the Temple Legion. He crafted the whole Misfits thing as a cover to get the heart back and to bring it back up north for Belinda, so they may resurrect the dragon and take command of it to rule the world. So that's really what's happening here. So Dervish's plan was uh here. Okay, here's the whole thing. Dervish joined the Kingsmen. Uh, whoops, years ago to steal the heart of the stone dragon, created the Misfits as a distraction cover up when he what do you call it? When he left the Misfits. I'm sorry, when he left the Kingsmen, I can't think of that word. I'll think of it later. But when he double agent, double crossed, essentially, when he double crossed the king, stole the heart, and that's where we came in. But was arrested. That's where he met regular me. So Dervish joined the Kingsmen years ago to steal the heart. So he worked his reputation up to get inside the flank because the heart was incredibly guarded by the Kingsmen. And so he thought the only way to steal the heart was to join the Kingsmen because he was a skilled fighter. So in doing that, he did that and to steal it, to steal the heart of to work his way up the Kingsmen. Let's see, Kingsman royalty, to steal the heart of the stone dragon, which was kept in the king's throne room, which we already mentioned, throne room. Let's say heavily guarded throne room. After stealing it, he created the Misfits as a distraction cover up when he double crossed the king. After he he double crossed the king to cover up the fact that he did work for he was essentially um, not basically yeah, Misfits. So but was arrested. That's where he met Bregor. The Kingsman, the King's Guard, discovered the connection. So they're telling me all this. The king discovered the connection. This is huge exposition dump. Discovered the connection between the Temple uh, of Legion's plan and the the Misfits. So they had a mole. That mole, if I'm spelling that right, was Gruith, which makes sense. There were some moments that Gruith did show signs of too much loyalty, but also just doesn't have a care in the world. So I think they mentioned Gruith was Gruith. So that's the twist right there. I think Gruith was indeed the mole. So he was using his magic to feed information to the Kingsman. So um, this really does sum up the whole story. Now for us, the Merchants Guild, I am in disbelief. I asked them, what about the Merchants Guild? Blah blah blah. Like just that information from earlier. So let's see what they say. 40 enemies. They are enemies of the Merchants Guild are actually enemies of the king. So are they part of? Is the Merchants Guild part of the Temple Legion? We'll say very likely they are. 49. Yep, they are. So They say they believe. Okay, they believe the Merchants Guild is a illegal chain of commerce that funds the Temple Legion's operations. The Temple of Legion's operations. So it is one big organized cult, but they fund um, the Temple Legion's operations basically. So they keep inventory coming in and resources going out. So yeah, or inventory going out, resources coming in. So that makes sense. Now I tell them that now do I am I good here or am I bad? Do I tell them that I saw Dervish and Belinda walk him to the temple? Because if Dervish is wanted, they're to walk him to the temple to do whatever they're going to do. Give up, kill, I have no idea. But am I going to tell the Kingsman that I just saw Dervish and Belinda walking up to the temple right now? You should go arrest them? Or do I tell them that if they ask me? So let's see. Um, do I tell them? Sorry, there's a fly in here. Do I tell them that Dervish? Hmm, is that really in my character's line? It's, after everything we just did, and brush this off, I think I am going to tell them that I saw Dervish and Belinda walking up to the temple just now. So, here, what do they say? Are they done for today, or are they actually going to go up there? Oh, 0-0, uncertain. Let's roll. Let's see, 25. Empty create. I hate that one. Create a problem. It just creates more issues for them. They thought they were dead. Let's see. Let's roll once more. Create what? 83. PC. Hmm. They give us an opportunity here. So they say they're too beat up, need to rest for the night. They ask me if I want to because I inadvertently saved the day with the destruction of the dragon's heart, and that caused the dragon spirit to crash and then be free, kind of thing. But it's really kind of an untied storyline that I need to figure out here. I'm gonna take this away here. How do they react? Okay, I think they say this. They need to rest first. But they are essentially there to arrest and capture Dervish for what he did. So that's pretty evident. Even though we kind of worked together to fend off the goblins, but like my closest enemy, that kind of phrase. We had a common enemy at the time, but now the enemy is gone, dead, fairly conveniently. So they need to rest first, and I tell what they're going to do with me. So let's see what they're going to do with me. 79. They reassure me. I asked them, do you still see me as a misfit? They reassure me, they don't. So I think after everything that I just, they're gonna let it slide because my not stupidity, but my clumsiness with the heart, like I don't know, it's a tough spot because the heart was a artifact that belonged to the king, but now it's destroyed. Or is there another one? Like here's the thing, like because that's the thing. There's probably more to the story that I just don't know yet. So I think do they see me as a misfit? They don't. So they say, yeah, because this is a tough one. Let me roll for it here. 91. Small. Okay, so they need to rest. I'm gonna say, do they answer that? Let's do 50-50. Do they answer that? 34. Delay. They're gonna delay that. They don't answer. So um, even though that the Misfits was a cover up, they don't answer. I think what I was gonna do was our character, or we're not hurt from anything at all. So I think they don't answer. I just thought of this because someone arrives. So they're not just a surprise arrival of the Kingsman, but someone arrives. It's not Sparky, but it's not just Sparky, but it's someone with Sparky. So let's see. Yep. So somebody arrives. They don't answer because they see somebody familiar. In the distance, we see, and if you remember from earlier, the Kingsman Alliance. That was the name of the Kingsman. The Kingsman Alliance. We see the Watcher walking towards us with Sparky next to him. This was an ass pull, but I wanted to bring the Watcher back for some time. So I think he has a connection to the final part of the story here. This isn't the final episode. This is like this is a closing point for um the climax. So we had a big reveal, big detail reveal, big plot reveal in this episode, and it closes off officially. This episode closes off with the approach of the Watcher, and because remember we left him in silence. He was mourning his wife's death. What was her name? Uh, oh yeah, let's mark that. See, Drake family, Xena, Rita. So and then Gruith is dead too, deceased. All right, so and then the Misfits, they're just kind of disbanded. Okay, so there, that's the ending. We see Sparky just has a hunch that the Watcher was, the Watcher and Rita were, married an old couple, so they kind of just that sixth sense. I don't know, plot hole potentially, but I think the Watcher found Sparky back there, hiding probably from all the attacks. So yeah, that's how it ends. This episode was intriguing because the last episode was by far my favorite, but this one was more. I think this one ties the story together because I had all the see. This is my first real huge campaign, long campaign where I'm doing solo. So this is a huge help for me personally as far as storytelling for next time if I do a long quest next time. I don't want to have such a complicated story like I kind of do here. It's not too complicated. It's a little all over the place. There's a few things I lost story details on, like the voice with talking to, which most likely was a dragon spirit talking to us, my character. But that's gone. That thing hasn't happened in a while. But yeah, that I don't want to have moments like that where like a couple of characters spew all these details to me. That stuff should be revealed as it goes. But again, I'm being too hard on myself. Like you can't do that when you solo play. So we go with it. And I did enjoy this. I loved this episode. I do like the details I came up with. It does tie everything together, and it makes sense at this point. Dervish joined the Kingsman years ago to work his way up the Kingsman royalty, um, to steal the heart of the Stone Dragon, which was kept in the king's heavily guarded throne room. After stealing, he created the Misfits as a distraction cover-up. After he double-crossed the king, stole the heart. We know that, but was eventually arrested years later, which was that's where he met us, met me. Kingsguard discovered the King's Alliance, I should say. The King's Alliance discovered so the King's Alliance years ago to work his way up the Kingsman royalty. So he could steal the Heart of the Stone Dragon, which was kept in the king's heavily guarded throne room. So after stealing it, I'm just doing some fine, just some spell checking here. After stealing it, he created the Misfits as a distraction cover up to when he double crossed the king, but was eventually arrested years ago. That's that's when he met me. King's Alliance discovered the connection between the Temple Legion clans and the Misfits. So they had a mole planted a while back. So that part alone, I'm going to take this out. This might piss off a few people, but that is a little too convenient. So I took that away. That's when he met me. And that's everything else we know what happens with this whole adventure. So I think that's a good little summary of what happened. Dervish joined the King's Alliance. Yep. Um, yeah, one second, guys. Okay. So the goblin thing is still kind of not completely fleshed out yet, but here's what I did. I kind of refined it. Um, Dervish was the right hand to the Temple Legion, an infamous cult of the North. His his girlfriend, I forgot to put this in there. His girlfriend, Belinda, was the overseer of the cult. They worshiped the stone dragon. Their goal was to resurrect the dragon to conquer the northern lands. The heart of the stone dragon was needed to complete the ritual, but the king had his hands on it. Dervish joined the King's Alliance years ago to work his way up the Kingsman hierarchy, so he could steal the heart of the stone dragon, which was kept in the king's heavily guarded throne. After stealing it, he created the Misfits as a distraction cover-up, was eventually arrested years later. That's when he met Regular, and that's the story. So I think we don't know yet because they've been killed, but with the Goblin, the Danger House, they were just a rival gang that um, stumbled onto all this, and they had their own plan in mind as a cult to work to resurrect the dragon for themselves, but they were kind of doing it wrong. So yeah, like I think the worshiping had to be done in the temple, but they were doing it outside, which caused the whole volcano thing. So that's a potential for the story. But right now we're more focused on um, episode 26. So here's where we land on the questions for episode 26. Uh, what is Dervish and Belinda doing back in the temple of Legion? Why is the Watcher? We changed his name from the Traveler, I think. The Watcher back with Sparky. What will we do with the Kingsman? Will the Kingsman arrest us after all this? So that might be another thing where we can work with the Kingsmen to pay off our criminal activities with the Misfits essentially. So we haven't really done much wrong per se, but yeah. So that's it for this episode. And this episode is been called we'll call it the Stone Dragon. I know that sounds like the dragon stoned off of but let's call the dragon appears. The dragon. Let's see, what should I call it? Dragon above. We'll do that. Dragon above. So Episode 25, Dragon Above. This episode was good, and it's much longer than I actually anticipated. But I think, like I said, a couple more episodes we should be closed off on this story. So, as far as the quest wise, we are good to. We have a new one, a dead to pay, because this one's done or it's been canceled. But yeah, let's see. We'll leave this blank. We have potentially new quests in the next episode, and that's it. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know this one was kind of all over the place with information exposition, but it was a great moment to tie everything together, uh, as you know, as we were creating the story as we went. I'm thinking for next time I do a long campaign, I'm going to have a preset story in mind, but a basic story where we kind of try to weave through it next time. But yeah, I think this one kind of worked out. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time on 830 RPG.